Alright, hello all. So I'm going to be doing a video for muscle percussion techniques. So I'm going to have my colleague Amber working with me. So I'm going to be working on the calves, the IT band, and the low back. So we're going to start with the calves. I'm going to have Amber going to lay prone on the table here. And come a little bit further onto the table. Not that far, come down a little bit so your foot hangs on. So you come a little bit closer, see what I'm doing? So I'm going to be working just on the right side of the body. So with the Hypervolt tool, I'm going to be using just kind of the general head for this area. So I'm going to be working through this area here. I'm going to make sure to stay out of the popliteal space right here. And I'm not going to go too far down into the Achilles tendon, so I'm going to stay right here in the meat of the gastrocnemius. So I'm going to start off just on the level 1, and I'm going to have Amber give me some feedback to let me know when I've hit a particularly sensitive area. So Amber, I'm going to have my hand right here on your knee. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be moving fairly slowly. So I'm going to try to move about an inch per second. And I'm going to be going vertical across the muscle like so. I'm going to try to keep this going in the same direction as the muscle fibers. How are we doing so far, Amber?
Good.
Any particularly sensitive spots?
Not yet.
So on this first pass, I'm going to keep it fairly light. And I'll increase a little more depth on the second pass to see if we catch some additional areas. Alright, so I got some feedback that we have a sensitive area here, so I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds. And continue on from there. And I'm going to go back across that area as well. About an inch per second. Staying out of the popliteal space and not too far down. How are we doing so far? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the IT band. So Amber, I'm going to have you slide more to the right. So right about to the edge of the table, so a little bit closer to space. So I'm going to be using the IT band. So I'm going to be moving between the hip and the knee here. I'm going to make sure not to move down into the knee and not so far up onto the hip. And I'm going to try to be careful of the greater trochanter of the femur, so I'm not hitting that bony part there. And I'm going to start down here and work my way up. And the same thing, I'm going to be moving about an inch per second. How's that? And same thing, I'm going to be moving vertical with the muscle fibers. Vertical across the tendon. All right, so we have something here, so we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. I'm going to pass back down one more time. So I'm going to keep the same tool, but I'm going to move on to the low back. So I want to make sure that I'm steering clear of some bony areas. So I'm going to try to steer clear of going straight down the spine. I'm going to try not to hit right here at the iliac crest, and I'm going to try not to be too bad here on the ribs. So I'm going to try to run parallel across the muscles. So, and I'm going to have my hand on the back here just so I can guide myself so I'm not hitting the spine. And to play with my intensity a little bit, instead of pressing down to start with, what I'm going to do is angle the tool so I can start off a little bit more gently. And then I can turn the tool so that it's more perpendicular straight down the muscle. And as I'm coming more laterally away from where the spine is, I can start to feel the ribs. So I'm going to ease up a little bit and come back in. And this time I'm turning a little bit more perpendicular and applying just a little bit more pressure.
Ooh, right there.
So right there, we're going to hold that for about 30 seconds. And I'll take one more pass back up. All right. And the three areas that we just did were the calves, the IT band, and the low back region. And we're done.